First off, my name is Pam Ogden. I'm the mayor of Vine Grove, if you don't know who I am. Thank you for coming out this morning. Thank you for joining us for our Autumn Days, our 60th Autumn Days Parade. And I know you don't hear this much, but thank you for running for office. It's not for the weak. Let me tell you, it's been it's been 3.5 years, and I feel for every one of you that have signed that ballot and are running. So I want to introduce our MC today. Our MC is Bryce Shoemate. He is our 911 director. He is the face of Vine Grove anytime we have anything going on, and he's all our friend. So I want to bring up Bryce Shoemate right now.
Thank you, Mayor Ogden, and good morning, everybody. We're going to start off with prayer. Nothing good starts without prayer. So I'm going to ask Pastor Terry Lynn Scott to come up and lead us in prayer this morning.
Thank you, Bryce. Will you pray with me? Father, we just thank you today for a beautiful day. God, we thank you that it's your plan in the new dispensation we're in that people elect officials. In the old covenant, God, you set them in, but in the new covenant, we do, God. So I pray today for each candidate running for office that, Lord, we ask for wisdom for them, God. In every situation, in every seat that would be held, Lord, we need your wisdom in this day in our country. God, we thank you for the great United States of America, your plan, the greatest nation on the earth. I thank you today, God, for each candidate for wisdom. I thank you for grace. I thank you, Lord God, that they understand that they're not making decisions just in their own opinion, but God, according to the word of God today. Father, I pray for the hearers today, those that are going to vote for people. God, that we listen with our convictions today, God, and we don't just listen for opinions. Father, I pray for that today. I thank you, God, that each person that's elected to the office, Father, I thank you, as Pam said, that they thank you for running. But Lord, I pray for the grace to hold the seat, to make the right decisions, that our communities, our state, and our country will continue, Father God, back onto the path of Jesus Christ. Father, we honor you for what you've done, for what you're doing, but God, what our future looks like in these votes. We honor you for it in Jesus' mighty name. And everybody said?
Amen. Thank you, Terry. And it's face it's no stranger to anybody in our community. I'm asking Mr. Irvin Lyons Jr. to come up and lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. So would you please stand with us, please?
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Irvin. And you all may have not have noticed Irvin because he was wearing a helmet and riding with the Buffalo Soldiers in the parade. So thank you for your service. Our national anthem today will be led by Maria Dyer. Marie, would you come up, please?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave
Judge Barry, aren't you glad that they didn't ask me to sing? And I heard somebody else out here say yes. First up, we're going to have our Kentucky governor candidates. Mike Carman is our first one up that is here. So Mike, come on up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
5 minutes.
5
They'll
minutes.
tell you.
All right. How's everybody doing today? Is this not a beautiful day? All right, well, everybody who knows me, everybody can hear me? Everybody that knows me knows I always like to start with something funny. So I rolled out my joke from back in 2015 when I ran for auditor the first time. There was this Kentucky girl, fell in love with an Indiana boy, and she calls up her daddy and says, "Daddy, I've fallen in love with Clarence." It's like, "Clarence? Isn't Clarence from Indiana?" And she said, "Yes, sir, he is." And he said, "I don't want you marrying the Indiana boys. I hear they're mean. Sometimes they throw chairs." That's an old Bobby Knight reference. But you know, I've got 2 little girls, and they're all grown up, but they have daddy wrapped around their finger. So she went ahead and got married. 2 years later, she calls up her daddy and says, "Daddy, you're right. Clarence being mean to me." He said, "Don't you worry. I'll bring you 2 big brothers. We'll get up there and we'll take care of old Clarence." So they hop in the car, they drive up to Louisville, drive across the bridge into Indiana. As soon as they get across, the dad turns around and starts heading right back to Louisville. And the 2 brothers says, Daddy, aren't we going to help Sissy?" He said, "Boys, I'd love to, but didn't you see that sign we crossed the bridge? Clarence, 11'7". I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, I told that joke in 2015 because when I ran for auditor, I really had a David and Goliath race. I only had $45,000 going against Adam Edlin, who had $800,000, and Rachel Maddow described him as the next up-and-coming Southern Democrat. But God blessed us with a victory, and I would have praised him whether we won or lost, but he blessed us with a victory, and and I was able to serve, and I appreciate the service. Prior to that, I served 13 years in the Kentucky General Assembly, so appreciate the opportunity to serve. The very first thing I did when I entered the auditor's office is I told everybody we don't target anyone, we don't give anybody a pass, we just simply follow the data. We've worked hard to hold this current governor accountable. It was our office that revealed there was well over 400,000 emails sent to the unemployment assistant line that just got archived, didn't even get looked at when people were struggling to get their unemployment. Our office revealed there were 10 employees within the Office of Unemployment Insurance that basically, even though they were still full-time employed, applied for unemployment compensation and accessed their own accounts, even though they had been specifically trained not to access their own accounts. Now, people ask me now, well, why are you running for governor? Well, I was one of the first to file back in July of last year. And I tell people this is the honest truth. You know, I'm a Christian, and I'm a husband, and I'm a father, and I'm a grandfather. And I want my kids and my grandkids, man, hopefully someday my great-grandkids, to live in a state where they feel like they can accomplish anything. And I mean anything. And unfortunately, our current governor has put such a focus of fear over freedom instead of freedom over fear. I mean, think about it. He focused on fear over freedom when he shut down our businesses. He focused on fear over freedom when after he shut down the businesses, he shut down the in-person unemployment offices. And then finally, he focused on fear over freedom when he shut down our churches and sent the state police to try to enforce it. I mean, that's crazy. So we need a governor that's going to focus on freedom over fear, not fear over freedom. Now, I tell everybody that, that I have, of those that are in the Republican primary currently, I am, and I said this jokingly, it's changed a little bit, but I am the oldest, I am the most experienced, and I'm definitely the most experienced with 13 years in the House and will be 8 in the auditors, and I'm the funniest. And I told that one fellow down in West Kentucky, and he said, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm not really sure which one he meant, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But I tell everybody, especially my Republican brethren, because, we've got, of course, we're running for the fall too, but I tell everybody that, we've got a lot of people that are involved in the Republican primary. Let's just face it. And they're all my friends. Those that are involved, Daniel and Ryan and Kelly, they're all my friends. But when it comes to Republicans, guess what? Iron sharpens iron, but when the race is over, we've all got to come together because we've got one goal. We've got one goal, and a house divided can't stand. And that one goal is to make Andy Beshear a one-term governor. We've got to do that. Now, thank you. Now, I will say this, and I'll close with this. I may not be the most polished politician out there, but if you want somebody that loves the Lord, loves his family, and loves this country, and in that order, if that's the person you're looking for, I hope you will keep me in mind. I would encourage you to go to mycarman.com if you want to find out some more information. Thank you all. God bless. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
And Clarence is our timekeeper over here. So, next up, Kentucky Governor candidates Eric Dieters.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am not Eric Dieters. I'm Steve Larsen. I'm chairman of Volunteers for Eric Dieters' campaign. Eric hired me. I'm going to take this off so you can see my face a little bit here. He hired me. I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm retired from Boone County Sheriff, and I have experience in a max security prison down in Georgia. So I'm originally from Kentucky. My parents, a preacher and a school teacher. That tells you the kind of person that Eric is. People ask, do you support the police? Do you support veterans? I'm testimony. I did run for Kenton County Jailer. When I lost my primary, he talked to me that night, called me the next morning and said, let's have lunch, I want to hire you. Eric's a believer in our justice system. He wants to fix our justice system. He has some videos. I don't know if y'all know about it. Bulldog Media, Bulldog TV show. He actually does the news. Films at least three videos every morning. I'm going to ask you a question. Driving here today, yesterday, how many times you look in the rearview mirror and see a straight face? And you wonder, how come people don't smile? They're not happy. I thank you all for smiling, for coming out, for waving, for taking all 8 bags of Tootsie Rolls products that I had so I don't have to eat it on the way home. Thank you. But my point about the straight face, Kentucky is struggling right now financially, our economy, our tourism. He made a video this week at length talking about the tourism and the help that's needed in eastern Kentucky. I had an opportunity last Saturday, Freedom Fest up at Eric's Farm in Morning View, Kentucky. Over 15,000 people there. I was head of security for that event. Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Candace Owens, Kimberly Guilfoyle. All 3 except Candace have already called and confirmed to come back next year, September 9th. Put that on your calendar. We packed the farm, cars, people everywhere. It's all over social media. You can see this. I was up close in the VIP tent with them. They're great people. I spent a couple hours in the front when people came in, a couple hours when they left. You know what I saw? Not one straight face. I saw over 15,000 people down to the ages of 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. More excited when they left than when they came. But it was an epic event. They're excited because they feel it's time for change. They want to make a difference in Kentucky. Freedom Fest. We need freedom. I'm going to step over here for a second. Y'all can hear me. Less government, more freedom. That's what the shirt says. There's a reason for that. I know Mike Carman. I've seen him. I've talked to him several times, all the candidates. We call each other by the first name now. It's been a great year for us so far. Let me throw this out really quick. All the shirts that are local, we pray for you, for your election. You survived primary. Your general's coming up really soon. I know it's tedious to the husbands and wives, the families of those involved. Come in November, our prayers go out to you. It is tough. Our primary is not till next May. In election for governor, I'm going to throw the 3 points out really quick. There's the campaign, stage 1. We campaign, we travel. Yard signs, 8,000 to 10,000 yard signs. You go to events, you go everywhere, you talk, you preach. I got plenty of flyers here. You can scan DietersForGovernor.com. He'll tell you. His resume is so many pages long, I can't read it in 5 minutes. So you're welcome. I'm saving y'all for that real quick. Tough crowd. Check out the website, though, DietersForGovernor.com. Once somebody does get elected, and this is your decision right now, who you're paying attention to, who is preaching, who is winning you, winning your spouse, your children, your high school children. I have 2 teenagers in high school, a senior and sophomore. Now this year, because of what's happened the last 2-3 years, president all the way down to our state level, they're excited about politics. They're involved. Yours are too. So it's our goal, it's Mike Carman, everybody's goal, to win the whole household. It's not the old saying, if you get the wife to vote for you, the husband will follow her and the kids too. We want the whole family to believe in us, in Eric Dieters. We want the whole family to believe in what he can do for the next 4 years after being elected with the economy. The excess budget, $945 million. You all read that, didn't you? That was posted shortly after the floods in eastern Kentucky. That's our tax dollars. All of us, empty all 4 of your pockets out and walk away That's how you get $945 million excess in budget. It needs to go to the right places, to the state, to bring jobs, to better our economy here. And I'm going to throw this out, and nobody ever talks about this. On the last week of being a governor, and this is very important to you, in the last history, and we're all old enough to know, how many governors have pardoned 200, 300, 400 people on the way out the door? Eric Dieter's answer to that when I ask him is, I'm not pardoning people. There's a criminal justice process. If they're wrongly accused, wrongly convicted, they go through the courts, the appeals court. The court handles that. It is wrong for a governor to walk out the door with a clipboard saying, okay, pardon, 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 put a P everywhere. Flip the page, have a secretary to help him flip the page to get to 300 people.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, young man. I'm older than you, by the way.
Thanks for calling me young man. That makes me feel good.
Make Kentucky great again. This is Pat.
Next up, we've got U.S. senators, but I don't have an asterisk by their name, so I'm looking for U.S. senator and U.S. representatives, and I don't have anybody showing here. Next up is Justice of Kentucky Supreme Court, District 2, Sean Marie Alcott. Oh, Sean. 4 minutes, and you need to look over there because they're going to show you when time's up.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sean Marie Alcott, and I'm a candidate for the Kentucky Supreme Court. For the last 29 years, I've seen firsthand how vital our courts are to protecting our freedoms. For the last 29 years, I've seen how important the courts are to the functioning of our government. I am deeply committed to our courts, and I'm deeply committed to a strong and independent judiciary. I've spent the last 29 years representing individuals, small businesses, nurses, physicians, hospitals, city governments, county governments. I've even spent time as a prosecutor. I've practiced at all levels of our court system. Each and every day of my last 29 years have prepared me to serve you on the Kentucky Supreme Court. Now, as proud as I am of my professional accomplishments, I'm proud of my family. My husband, Mark, who's sitting here today, we've been married 28 years, and we're the proud parents of 3 children. Mark has been my driver for the last 9 months as we've been on the campaign trail. He's my biggest cheerleader. But we're proud of our family. We're proud of raising our family while having busy careers, but also being deeply committed to our communities, where I've been a volunteer in our school system and at our church. I've worked hard all my life. My first job was when I was 12 years old. My first job, I cleaned the bathrooms and mopped the floors at my father's small business. When you grow up in a family-owned small business, you learn one thing. You learn how to work hard, and you learn how to work all the time. Those are the same values, conservative values, that I'm trying to instill in my children. And that hard work is what I want to put to work for you on the Kentucky Supreme Court. Now, I am not a politician, but I'm running for office. So I'm humbly asking for your vote, and I'm humbly asking for your help. I need you to get to the polls. I need you to get your family and friends to the polls. I need you to cast a vote for Sean Marie Alcott for Kentucky Supreme Court. Please check out my website, SeanAlcott.com. Please find me on Facebook, Sean Alcott for Supreme Court. Connect with me and help me win this election. Thank you for your time, and may God bless our Commonwealth.
Mark, I understand how busy judges are. I tell everybody that's why my wife and I have been married so long, because we never see each other. Next up, we've got Kelly Thompson Jr. also running for Supreme Court District 2.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Kelly Thompson. You have elected me as your judge on the Court of Appeals for the last 16 years. Last time I carried every precinct in Hardin, Breckenridge, Meade, in fact, in every county. I grew up in Bowling Green. I went to Western Kentucky University. I went to the University of Kentucky. I practiced in Bowling Green. I was a public defender. But on the Court of Appeals, I have written over 1,000 judicial opinions. I have stood up for gun rights. I have stood up for your rights. And I have written fair opinions. The Court of Appeals is the court I'm there with Judge Jeff Taylor, who's going to speak in a little while. We're the only 2 judges in 17 counties that represent you on the Court of Appeals. I'm a member of the Rotary Club. I'm a member of the Lions Club. And in fact, back in college, I was real sweet on a girl from Vine Grove, and I visited Vine Grove all the time. But it was a tiny little place, about 10 houses, next to the railroad tracks. It has changed. A beautiful, beautiful community now. Anyway, I would appreciate your vote. I love Hardin County, and like I say, I ask that you, and also was the head of the Department of Transportation legal staff here at the Hardin County back when I started out of law school. I was stationed here in the Army at Fort Knox for a brief period of time, and I have strong ties to Hardin County. I ask that you vote for me. My website is judgekellythompson.com, but I doubt if any of you all remember. Anyway, I ask for your vote. Please vote for Judge Kelly Thompson for Court of Appeal, for Supreme Court. I've been on the Court of Appeals so long I forget. All right, bye-bye.
Next up, we've got the Hardin County Sheriff coming up next. Willie Oden is a Republican candidate for Hardin County Sheriff. Willie, come on up.
I don't know if I got to bend down or move the microphone, but we're going to try to make it work. Hi, I'm Willie Oden, and I'm running for your Hardin County Sheriff. A little bit about me I want to tell y'all. I'm a retired military veteran, 31 and a half years in the U.S. Army as a military police. Every service member, raise your hand. Please, right now, raise your hand. There's a lot of knowledge sitting out here in this audience right now today. You can't beat it, and we're going to take care of Hardin County together. Change. The opportunity for change comes right now. You have an opportunity to make things happen. It's all about what you want to do. I can't stand up here and humbly ask you for your vote. What I have to do is give you the opportunity to make a choice. That very fabric of freedom over there I fought for to give you that choice. And that choice is yours to choose when and how you use it. If it's for me, I'll appreciate you, and I'll promise to give you every bit of me at all costs to make sure that each and every one of you are safe. Now that I can guarantee. Now, town halls. When's the last time you seen a town hall? Don't worry about it. I already know the answer. I'll give you one. Every corner of the county will get a town hall. Okay? Transparency. When's the last time you had transparency? Well, guess what? I'm going to give that to you also. Because guess what? There are things that happen. Cans get kicked down the road. You never know what's going on. But I'm going to give it to you because you'll be able to talk to me to get that information. Budget. You got to follow the money. I've been following the money. Something about the money is funny. And I'm ready to get to the matter, the meat of the matter. Now, there's a lot of things that happen during election time. You get all kinds of great and wonderful things. It's shiny, 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 like Judge Judy says. It happens all of a sudden. We should be doing it all the time. It's proactive, not reactive. We got to be proactive. Our schools. Let's talk about our schools. Stony Brook, Great Falls, Maryland. What is Uvalde, Texas, Florida. Why do we have to wait until something happens in order to put security in our schools? We should have done it long before now. When Great Falls, Maryland, when Stony Brook, Columbine, we should have already been doing it, but we weren't. You gotta understand, I'm a little emotional because of how I feel. I got kids too. So if it seems like I'm preaching, I'm not holding a sermon, but we can take up an offering after the fact. The thing about it, folks, is I want you to do what you need to do, how you want to do it, and where you want to do it. I can't tell you everything about what goes on in the Hardin County Sheriff's Office. I'm not in there, and I don't know. Give me the opportunity to get in there. I will find out, and then I promise to tell you everything that you need to know and want to know. I'm Willie Oden, November 8th. The choice is yours. Do what you need to do. I hope it's me.
Next up, we got John Ward, Democrat, running for Hardin County Sheriff. Come on up, John.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Ward, and I am your Hardin County Sheriff. I'm not going to stand up here and make a bunch of promises about things that I'm going to do. I want to talk to you about some major things our team has accomplished since we came into office on January of 2015. We have 9 deputies in our Hardin County schools on a full-time basis. We're in the process of hiring 7 more deputies for our schools. That will be a total of 16 law enforcement academy-trained certified deputies in our Hardin County schools. We also have 2 full-time deputies at HCEC-TV college campus. In 2015, there were none. All of these deputies are in addition to the ones assigned to work the road, criminal investigations, and the courthouse. In 2015, the Sheriff's Office answered approximately 30% of the 911 calls in the county, and we now answer 80 to 85% of these 911 calls. We had to shift from being primarily a paper-serving agency to that of a full-service law enforcement agency. That required updating our fleet, new duty weapons, adding patrol rifles, in-car computers, and the list goes on. We have a sergeant and a detective assigned full-time to Criminal Investigation Division. One sergeant is assigned to a Homeland Security Task Force and supervises our K-9 unit. We now have 3 K-9s, and in January 2015, we had none. We have an accident reconstruction and unmanned aircraft unit, which has the latest technology available. Drones are used for reconstruction, crime scene mapping, search and rescue, building searches, and the list goes on. In January 2015, we had none. In January of this year, we purchased state-of-the-art body cameras for patrol and school deputies. In January 2015, we had none. The Sheriff's Office has never had body cameras, and in 2015 only had a handful of antiquated dash cams that we couldn't even get parts to repair. Our body cameras will be replaced every 36 months with the latest technology and cameras available. The Sheriff's Office is responsible for over $80 million in property tax collection each year. We're proud of our mobile tax collection, which was added in 2015. Tax bills can now be paid at 10 locations across the county every November. We have a deputy assigned to Veterans Court. Folks, the last 20 years with multiple deployments, we have some veterans that's got in trouble with the law for different reasons. Veterans Court helps work through their problems, and they hopefully get through there without having a criminal record. There's so much more to this list that I wanted to talk to, but I want to touch on the high points in the short amount of time that I have. Folks, I've been in a leadership role in a law enforcement agency for the last 27 years. I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets, and I've been responsible for many major operations to include the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky State Fair Security Detail. We all know our county is getting ready to grow like it's never grown before. With this growth comes a lot of good, but also it comes some challenges. With this partial listing of accomplishments implemented since January of 2015, I think you can see that the Sheriff's Office is always looking for ways to improve our services that we provide. Ladies and gentlemen, you can rest assured that your Sheriff's Office is constantly working on plans for continued improvements to better serve and keep this great county safe. As it has been in the past 7 years, my door has always been open, and I think most everyone knows my cell number. Ladies and gentlemen, the highlight of my professional career has been my time serving as your Hardin County Sheriff. I humbly ask that on November the 8th, that you go to the polls and vote to keep John Ward as your Hardin County Sheriff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff Ward. Hey, I want to take just a moment to thank Hardin County Education and Community TV for covering today's event. Our future is right there filming this event. There are 2 young people from Hardin County School System that are operating the cameras today and working on their education and working on their future. Thank you for that round of applause, and thank you for joining us, Hardin County Education and Community TV. Next up, Magistrate District 1 and Pastor Edward Palmer Sr. is our first speaker.
Good morning, Northern Hardin County. All right, let's try this again. You all know church. It's called Call and Response. Good morning, Northern Hardin County! All right, my name is Ed Palmer, and I'm running for Hardin County Magistrate District 1. Let me start off with a confession. I have never served as a magistrate before. But the same is true of my opponent. Therefore, the logo on the shirt means something. Experience matters. You have no idea, I have no idea, what it's like to be a magistrate because I've never been one. But I do know if I'm interviewing somebody for the job, experience and past accomplishments matter. So let me share a little bit about myself. I'm a veteran of the United States Army. I'm married to Angie Elizabeth Palmer, 40 years of marriage. I served 5 terms on the Radcliff City Council. 4 out of 5 of the last Kentucky governors appointed me to serve on federal and state commissions and boards, which says that I have policymaking experience at the federal level. I'm the past chair of the National Coalition for Juvenile Justice out of Washington, D.C. I'm a board member for the Kentucky Council for Economic Policy. I recently, 3 months ago, spent time in Washington, D.C. meeting with the Kentucky delegation for the reauthorization and funding of the Juvenile Justice Prevention Act, which funds a lot of our juvenile justice program within our juvenile justice system. When I moved here 25 years ago, I was pastoring a little church, meeting in the high school, North Hardin High School cafeteria for about 8 people. Just 25 years later, on the corner of Larsen and Sunset Drive in Radcliff sits an institution that every day of the week hands out food, that runs programs for kids involved in the juvenile court system, runs programs for families involved in the family court system, and for 25 years have opened our door on Thanksgiving Day to feed Hardin Countyans and those in surrounding counties. So in 25 years, I've managed to build an institution that will succeed me. If I were to leave this earth today, tomorrow they'll still be impacting this community. I only talk about my accomplishments because they're a pretty good predictor of my future performance. Experience matters in this race. I'm telling my family and friends, vote for the most experienced, most accomplished candidate. I promise you that I'll work to bring back and improve services on the North End. I promise you I'll work to keep Hardin County as the lowest taxed county in the Commonwealth. I promise you I will work to encourage the incoming administration to continue to pursue government and public-private partnerships to fund programs as opposed to raising tax. My name is Edward L. Palmer Sr., and I am your candidate for Hardin County Magistrate District 1. And remember, experience matters. Have a great day.
Thank you, Pastor Palmer. Next up for Magistrate District number 1 is Chris Yates, the Democrat candidate.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Bryce Shoemate, Stan Mullins, and Barry Saylor for putting on this event. They've done a great job. My name is Chris Yates, and I'm running for the office of Magistrate District 1. My motivation and purpose for running for this position is to give back to the community that has always given so much to my family and me. I've been happily married to my high school sweetheart, April, for 26 years, all 26 years of which I've lived in Radcliff. We have 3 children, Blake, Hunter, and Madison. They've all attended public schools in Hardin County. Blake and Hunter attended North Hardin High School. Madison is currently a junior at EC3. I am the 5th generation of Yates to call Radcliff home. I'm 3rd generation to serve on the Radcliff City Council. After considerable thought and consideration, I've decided to run for magistrate because I want to be part of the decision-making process that ensures Northern Hardin County has a strong voice in county government. With strong representation, Northern Hardin County can continue to be a great place to live, worship, and raise a family. A main goal on my long list of things to accomplish after I'm elected is to work with fiscal court to restore resources, such as the library and county clerk's office, to Northern Hardin County. I fully recognize that this will take a collaborative effort effort, but I promise you that I'll be a strong and vocal advocate for the restoration. During the past 7 years and 7 months, I've diligently attended the council meetings, studied informational packages, spoken to constituents, and requested additional information from the mayor and department heads. Before ever casting a vote, I've made sure that I have a thorough understanding of every issue and how it will impact the citizens of Radcliff. I promise you that this level of scrutiny and preparedness will continue to play a dominant role in my leadership. In the near future, our county government will be facing some unique and challenging times in terms of leadership. At a minimum, Hardin County will be electing a new county judge and 6 new magistrates. I know this change will be challenging, and I also know that I'm up for the challenge. I bring to the table a proven history for making sound decisions that are in best interest of the people. My record of service speaks for itself. I have faithfully shown up, been informed and prepared, and I have remained aware of the needs and desires of this district. I humbly ask for your vote to elect me to serve as your next magistrate so that I can be part of the leadership that will ensure Northern Hardin County successfully embraces the challenges ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. As a thank you for sponsoring this Brushy Fork debate today, we want to say thank you to the city of Vine Grove. And so next up, we've got Vine Grove Council. And before I bring them up here, several of us out here in the audience are cancer survivors. Myself, Lamar Jones, several of you are out there. We've got one of our city council members that is fighting cancer, and we ask you to keep her in your prayers. Donna Spankenberger. And I apologize, you all, but I ask you to keep her in your prayers as we go through this campaign season. First up is Donna Betson from Vine Grove City Council.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Donna Betson. I'm running for re-election for City Council. It has been my honor to serve with Pam Ogden and with the rest of the council these years as we have made the improvements for our city, and we continue to do with the infrastructure and everything else with the influx of people building, which is always a good thing. And we're really proud of our community. We're proud of our fire department, our police department, our public works. We have some outstanding employees in Vine Grove. So shout out to all of them. Thank you for what you do for the city too. My husband retired here in 2003, believe it or not. I've been here that long. He was in the Army for 30 years, so I'm an Army spouse. One of the things that they teach us as an Army spouse is that you always help your community. And that's what I did as soon as we got involved here at Vine Grove. My dad retired here in 1965. So I was a graduate of Fort Knox High School, but the rest of my sisters and brothers are North Hardin, and they all live here too, as well as my kids and grandchildren. And that is why I continue to run. Vine Grove means a lot to me. I want it to be the best place to raise children. And with this community, I do believe that can be possible. So I'm asking for your vote, keeping it short. God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna Betson. Next up is Lonnie Davis. Where did they get Lonnie Davis from?
Happens all the time.
It's Lonnie Dennis, you all.
Thanks, Bryce. Good morning. I am Lonnie Dennis, and I am running for re-election for the Vine Grove City Council. A little bit about me. I first showed up in Vine Grove about 32 years ago when I was hired to teach school at James T. Alton Middle School. Did that for a few years, and then I was lucky enough to be hired at North Hardin as an assistant principal, and then became a principal. Served the students at Vine Grove Elementary as principal for 10 years, and then went on to North Hardin High School to serve as principal there for my last 5 until I retired. So when I moved to Vine Grove, I met my wife Kim, and it just kind of stuck. It was the perfect situation. This town is absolutely phenomenal, and I've had the opportunity to meet with a lot of the folks and actually serve them as working with their children. A couple years ago, after I retired as a principal, I wanted to continue my service and was fortunate enough to win the election for Vine Grove City Council. And I have really enjoyed it, looking for re-election. We've got some big things coming up in Hardin County and Vine Grove especially with the industry that's growing in Elizabethtown. Vine Grove is the community that folks are going to want to live and raise their family, and I think we have an obligation to be ready for that. We need to continue improving our infrastructure. We need to continue creating places like this, Optimus Park, a place for families to come together and enjoy each other and to get to know each other and be a part of the community. So again, I'm going to make it short. I appreciate your support, running for re-election. I hope to be able to serve you for a couple more years. Thank you.
Next up is Mary Dunn.
Hi, good afternoon. It is afternoon. It's a good day to be in Vine Grove. So a little bit of personal history. I'm obviously Mary Dunn. I grew up Bracken County High School, graduated from Bracken County High School. If you know where Northern Kentucky is, somewhere up there. Most of my youth was on a farm, so tobacco, dairy. I could probably milk a cow. It's been a while, but you know, it's like riding a bike. So my first years were on the farm. I found myself at Fort Knox in 1982. Shortly moved in, joined the Army, did 10 years in the Army. During that time, I gained my BA in elementary education and began my teaching career up at Woodland Elementary. I retired last year after 23 years. I flipped to high school in the middle of all that as I got older, started teaching high school, got my MBA so that I could teach high school. I have a love for business. I started adjuncting, and I adjunct for ECTC for 8 years. So I taught littles in the morning and adults at night for a lot of those years. Retired last year, like I said, and I've onboarded with the 83rd Reserve on Fort Knox. I'm not ready to stop working. I love to work, so I actually help manage their curriculum as they teach the reservists there. But what really I feel has prepared me for this seat would be the 19 years, plus years that I have been on the Board of Adjustments. First for Radcliff, first 17 years were with Radcliff. I started in 2003 and I haven't skipped a beat. I moved over here, my husband and I decided to move over here in 2019 into Vine Grove. This is where we wanted to retire. And I took an empty seat there. Speaking of my husband, we have been married for 33 years, met here at Fort Knox after I got out of basic and all that. And we have 7 children, raised 7 children, and we have 10 grandchildren. They keep us busy. Like I said, I'm a busy person, but I love city government. I love to serve. And with those 19 plus years, I've also gained more than 100 hours of state mandated training in running city government. I know all about the comprehensive plan and, you know, code of enforcement, transportation, subdivision regulations, FEMA, cell tower regulations. I could probably know all of that. So I feel I'm prepared. I've got a lot of knowledge that I could bring to the table. Come alongside the mayor and the other city council members and help meet the needs of the city and its residents. But fiscal responsibility would be one of my talking points. Fiscal responsibility, I'm committed to that. We need to use our tax dollars well. Always answering the question, what is the problem and who will benefit? So right now our biggest issue that we're working with in Vine Grove is our stormwater. We're a little bit behind our sister city, but Mayor Pam really dug in there and we started collecting that money, and we are making great strides in that all over the city to make our quality of life better for our residents. Also, you know, just using our money to support all of our services. Our youth, we have a robust youth sports here. So when they ask for it, they raise their hand and say, we can look at our budget and move money around and support our services here. Also, how do we grow? How do we grow? How do we thoughtfully grow? We are a small town and we really are, we've got our eyes on our downtown revitalization, but we're also growing. There is tremendous growth all around us. We are sitting right here in the middle of the 64-65 corridor, and how do we grab that? In the end, just thank you for coming. I'm number 7 on the ballot, and I hope to put my I hope to put my expertise to work.
I want to thank our timekeepers over here, Kim Dennis and Lisa Saylor. As you all are coming up here, don't forget to look over at them every so often because they are giving you the warnings of when 30 seconds are up, and when you're done, they're going to shut the microphone off. Next up, Selena Hudson.
Good afternoon. Wow. My name is Selena Hudson, and I am running for re-election for Vine Grove City Council. We want to thank you, the Radcliff Small Business Alliance, for hosting this forum today. Thank you for the City of Vine Grove. You did an amazing job. Isn't this wonderful? Let's give them a round of applause. Yes. I'm blessed to be here today in front of you. I have my niece here with me because I want her to get used to being up here and knowing what it feels like to stand for something. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. A little bit about myself. I come from a strong military family. My dad served 31 years in the Army. My husband served 20 years in the United States Army. Both of my sons enlisted in the military, one in the Army, one in the Air Force. And we have 6 children and 6 grandchildren. I've been a mortgage loan officer for the last 2 decades, actually, and I'm co-owner of our family photography business, Riches and Glory Photography, and I'm currently serving my first term on Vine Grove City Council. I'm past president of the Radcliff Small Business Alliance. I currently serve on the board of directors for the HCEC Foundation Board, Knox Regional Development Alliance, and Modern Woodmen of America Vine Grove chapter, and the Kentucky Black Caucus. Let's keep putting Vine Grove first. Why? Because we care. We partnered, and what do I mean when I say put Vine Grove first? We partnered with the Family Medical Clinic to ensure that we had drive-up COVID testing right here in Vine Grove. I noticed that the citizens were going to Elizabethtown and Radcliff to get tested, and so we partnered with the Family Medical Clinic to make that happen for Vine Grove. We also partnered with Lowe's to bring do-it-yourself workshops to Vine Grove City Hall. We noticed that many of the service people, plumbers, electricians, were not going out to the homes to do the work that needed to be done. So we started those classes so that people could learn to fix their own toilet. They could learn to do the minor maintenance issues in their own home and keep themselves safe. We work with Congressman Guthrie's office to make sure that the most vulnerable population were able to get appointments to get their COVID vaccine if they wanted it, if they chose to do so. And we also partnered with the Vine Grove Methodist Church and Chef Maria Bell to make sure that we've had a blessing box outside in Vine Grove, the only blessing box in Vine Grove, to serve at that time, to serve the food insecurity issues that our community has. And we also were able to bring back the beloved Yard of the Month program. Yes, and it's been amazing just to see all of you out, all of the citizens out there working in their yard, competing. Friendly competition has never hurt a city. I am the co-chair of the Economic Development Advisory Committee for Vine Grove. This is where a group of our citizens, just like you, once a month we meet, and they help discuss the challenges and the opportunities in Vine Grove for economic growth. You cannot have economic growth, without community development. So I am number 5 on the ballot, and I would appreciate your vote. Let's keep putting Vine Grove first. Why? Because we care.
Next up for Vine Grove City Council, Christopher King.
Hello everyone, welcome to Vine Grove. My name is Christopher King. I'm a candidate for City Council. I have been a member of the City Council since 2011. I have called Vine Grove my home my entire life. I'm a third generation Vine Grove native, and proud to say that I'm raising a fourth generation. I'm married to Darren King. She is the owner of Blue Rose in downtown. She and I have 3 children. Our older 2 boys, Cohen and Weston, well, they're in elementary school here in Vine Grove. And our little girl, Greer, which is a Facebook phenomenon if you're friends with my mom or my wife. I, myself, am employed at Wilson & Muir Bank, also downtown. And I've been a loan officer there. I've worked at the bank for almost 15 years. I volunteer during the summertime as a coach for my 2 boys' baseball team right over here. I spent a lot of time over there this past summer and the last several summers. I am active in the community. I am a member of the Hardin County Chamber of Commerce and the Radcliff Small Business Alliance. I've spent nearly 2/3 of my adult life as a member of the City Council in Vine Grove. We've been facing a lot of the same issues during that time. We're a little bit unique. First of all, we are an older, historic town, and we are facing the problems that cities like ours are facing all over the country. Additionally, we're one of the fastest growing towns in the state of Kentucky. So it's a little bit of a unique situation. And I can stand up here and it's easy to tell you what's wrong or what needs to happen. More importantly, is electing somebody that knows where we've been in addition to where we need to be going. Vine Grove is a completely different place than it was when I was a kid growing up here, and than it was 12 years ago when I stood up here on this stage. And I wouldn't be surprised if in another decade it's a completely different place than it is now. I hope that you'll trust me to help bring our city into that future. And I would appreciate your vote. I'm Christopher King for City Council, number 1 on the ballot. Thank you.
Chris, it must have changed a lot, because according to that fellow that's running for judge, he said there was only 10 houses along the railroad tracks when he was growing up.
I don't remember that.
That must have been the 1900s, because I grew up here in Vine Grove and there was all kinds of houses around. So I don't know when he came around, but it's been a little while. Next up, City of Vine Grove City Council, Gary McCoy.
Thank you, Bryce. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'll start off by saying that I am a lifelong member of this community. Born and raised here, even went so far as to marry a local girl, and she has been a godsend to me. Last month we celebrated 54 years of marriage. I always tell people that I went through the 12 grades of school, all up there where City Hall is now located. And they happened to tear a red brick building down about where the gazebo is now. And I jokingly told people there for a while that they had to tear that down to get rid of me. And I sensed they were starting to believe it, but so I backed off of it for a while. But I'm very proud to have served this on the city council in the past for 27 years. I don't know of anywhere else where a poor boy like me could have that honor bestowed upon them. I remember, and you see these grounds that we're all in located herein now. I played a supportive role when this land was acquired. The soccer and the baseball fields were built. This amphitheater was built. Of course, the different mayors that have come along since have maintained it, and I'm very proud of this. It bodes the community well. Someone mentioned about cancer here recently, and I definitely want to wish Donna Spankenberger the best. I know what it's like. In 2017, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I went through chemo and radiation and 2 surgeries, and thanks to it and my wife, I'm here to speak today, and I'm very thankful and very humbled at being on the city council in the past. I hope you'll give me another chance to go back in there. It kind of grows on you. So thank you, and God bless everybody.
Last up for Vine Grove City Council is Kathy Cisco.
Short people. Good afternoon. Some of you may know me and some of you may not. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kathy Cisco. I'm currently on City Council and I'm running for re-election. You may ask me why I'm running. My answer to you is because I love this town and I believe I can make a difference. While on council, we don't make the day-to-day decisions. We hear what the citizens say and try to do our best for the city and the citizens. Sometimes it seems like we may not hear you on some issues because in your eyes, the decision we make is not the one that you want. But rest assured, it's in the best interest of all. In the last several years, we have grown, this city has grown tremendously, but still kept our small town image. Growth is a slow process, and one that we want to do correctly. In order for a town to grow, unfortunately, we must increase prices. One example was implementing stormwater fee. We now are able to address and correct some of our drainage issues. Problems in our town did not occur overnight, and it will take time to correct. It may look easy from the outside looking in, but when you're in our position, it's not an easy job. Not only do we have to consider what is good for the city, but what is good for you all. While you may think something is good, there are so many other factors to consider. It's not easy to make the right decision, especially when you know people will not be happy. My promise that I've always made and kept is that I promise to do my best with every decision I make for the citizens and the community in my mind. This is not a popularity contest. I'm not a politician. I'm a representative for you. We live in a great community, Vine Grove. To me, it's the best place in Kentucky. Please remember, this is my town too. I'd love to stay and talk to you all, however, tomorrow's my birthday, and I have a brand new great-grandson waiting for me at home. It is my 8th one. Thank you, everyone, and please vote Kathy Cisco, number 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And let's give the city of Vine Grove a big round of applause for hosting this today. There's very few of us anymore that can say we're so Vine Grove that the old Vine Grove doctor, Dr. Hand, even delivered us. So very few of us around anymore. I guess I'm telling my age, John Ward. Next up, we've got Court of Appeals Judge, District Number 2, Division 1, and Jeff Taylor is here with us today.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here with you today. I'd like to thank Barry and the Alliance for inviting me over here today. As Bryce indicated, I'm a judge on the Kentucky Court of Appeals. Now, I know you heard Kelly Thompson earlier. He mentioned Vine Grove had 10 houses when he visited here before, and I thought that must have been in 1906, because I'm pretty familiar with Vine Grove. Having been a native of Hardin County and born at Fort Knox and E-Town High graduate, I've been here many times, and this is a great community. As I mentioned, I've served on the court since 2003. I'm currently the second longest tenured judge in Kentucky, appellate judge in Kentucky. And I'm the only Hardin County native that serves on the Court of Appeals. Actually, I'm the only Hardin County native that's ever served on the Kentucky Court of Appeals in its 46-year history. I have, during my term of 19 years, I've sat on approximately 4,000 appellate cases, and I've written approximately 1,300 opinions. I'm making it short and sweet today. I'm seeking re-election for another term, and I'm running on my experience and my integrity and my commitment to you to follow the rule of law in our proceedings and our rulings. Judges cannot make pledges, we can't make promises, we can't make commitments, but I commit to you today that I will continue to treat everyone fairly and impartially if re-elected. Thank you again. I look forward to receiving your vote in November, and God bless. Thank you.
All right. Next up, for Circuit Court Judge, District Number 9, Division 3 here in Hardin County. First to speak today is Larry Ashlock.
Thank you, everyone. Again, my name is Larry Ashlock. I want to thank the committee and Brushy Fork, everyone, for having us out. I am a local attorney here, and I'm running for Hardin County Circuit Judge. In preparing for today, I thought about the clients that I've counseled over the years and many of the depositions that we've had. I've told them that the other side wants to know who, what, when, where, and why. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of that so you can make your decision on how you want to vote. I'll start briefly with when and where, obviously the election on November the 8th. The where is a bit different this year, obviously, and if you need to know, get on the Hardin County Clerk's website. I also have an office in E-Town. Feel free to call my office and we'll give you a little bit of help to tell you where you're able to vote at. The what is Hardin County Circuit Judge, 3rd Division. As I've canvassed the county this year, I've explained this to folks. It's a judge sitting with the robe and the gavel. To be more specific, the current circuit judge is Kelly Mark Easton. Judge Easton's going to be leaving us and going to the Court of Appeals. Circuit judges preside over all felony cases. They also all big civil cases, foreclosures, boundary disputes, eminent domain. If you think about the 5K Blue Oval, any litigation regarding that. In addition, large dollar lawsuits, such as actions concerning negligence, breach of contract, and yes, as I've answered people's questions, if Johnny Depp filed a defamation-style lawsuit in Hardin Circuit Court, you would see me on TV presiding over that type of case. Who am I? Again, I'm a practicing attorney. My office is located 306 West Dixie Avenue in E-Town, right across from St. James Church. It's in the OTK Stone house. It was his house that he lived in. It's a very nice old house that he had when he was the superintendent of the Elizabethtown schools. I'm from here in Hardin County. I tell people I was born in the rough and tumble town of Eastview. Everybody talks about the railroad tracks. The railroad tracks here in Vine Grove are the same. Back then it was Illinois Central, now it's Paducah and Louisville, went right by my house in Eastview. As a young boy, I can remember growing up and being in awe that the big trains that would drive by would actually come to Rineyville, far off places from Eastview like Rineyville and Vine Grove and go all the way to Louisville. For school, I attended Little Western Elementary out in the western part of this county. For high school, I went to West Hardin for 2 years. After my sophomore year, that merged with East Hardin to make Central Hardin. I was pretty decent at baseball and some academics and was able to graduate from Central in 1992, and I received a scholarship to play baseball at local Campbellsville University. After that, after getting my degree at Campbellsville, I was even luckier enough to get a letter from the University of Kentucky College of Law that accepted me into their program, and I was blessed enough to get my law degree in 2000. So I've been practicing ever since. In addition to my private practice, I've served as a prosecutor, as assistant county attorney, and assistant Commonwealth's attorney. I've been fortunate to have a wonderful practice here in Hardin County, handling criminal defense cases, all types of complex civil cases. I've argued and won appellate cases at the Kentucky Court of Appeals, both in front of Judge Thompson and Judge Taylor. Now, they've ruled against me in some too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've won them all. They've ruled against me a couple too. I've traveled the state. I've handled cases in half of the courts in the state of Kentucky. Two things about why am I running? I hearken it back to my playing days. I'm trying to go from being a player out in the field as an attorney to call in the balls and strikes. Why should you vote for me? You can rest assured that I've handled enough cases, and I've handled every type of case that's going to come before me in the circuit court, from criminal to civil, and that I will, like Judge Taylor said, apply the law to the case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we say 4 minutes, man, we mean it.
They mean it.
Next up, for Circuit Court Judge, District 9, Division 3, Raymond Eric Carr.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me ask you all a question. Do you love Hardin County? Do you love Hardin County? My name is Raymond Eric Carr. Most folks just call me Eric. I'm running for Hardin Circuit Court Judge because I love Hardin County. My wife, Barb, and I came here in 2006 to Fort Knox. We thought we were going to be here for 3 years, and we could have gone anywhere in the world after that. We chose to stay here because we both fell in love with this community. I'm raising my daughter, Ellie. My other daughter, Emma, is running around here somewhere. That's why I'm running for Hardin Circuit Court, because I love this community and I want to keep it safe for them. I have served this community as a prosecutor since 2009, quietly trying to stay out of the news, right? Doing my job, serving you, keeping this community safe. I spent all kinds of time here in Vine Grove, and it's usually after midnight or so, coming out here with the police officers, helping them investigate crime scenes, helping them work on maybe putting their cases together for a jury trial. Quietly serving you in the background because I care about your community. I've been all over this county, and I love every bit of it. It has been my absolute privilege to serve this community, and I ask you to help me continue to do that. Judge Kelly Easton is leaving to go to the Court of Appeals. My first job as an attorney was with Judge Easton and Judge Howard. They taught me so much. They've supported me in my career as a prosecutor. I got to see what really goes on in the courthouse. It's not just sitting on a bench a couple of days a week making rulings here and there. There is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. I grew up farming and doing construction work. I love to work. If I didn't, I wouldn't be out running around with police officers at midnight. I am ready for this challenge, and I hope you will help put me in this office. I'm nervous, and I'm scared for what's going to happen to this county. There are a lot of big changes coming. I look north to Louisville, and I see what a mess that place has become, and a huge part of it is the judges. I will not let this community turn into what Louisville has become. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. Now, candidates, don't forget, we've got a microphone on here for Hardin County Education and Community TV, so when you walk away, and I appreciate walking away because I like to speak walking away from the podium as well, but we won't be able to hear you on TV, and the folks at home are wanting to hear what you have to say as well. Next up is going to be our Hardin County Judge Executive candidates, and if you all will grant me a little levity here, I want to call attention to our current County Judge Executive who is retiring, Harry Berry. Harry, would you stand up? Thank you for all that you've done for Hardin County. First up to speak for Hardin County Judge Executive is the Republican candidate, Keith Tall.
All right. Thank you, Vine Grove, and thank you, Radcliff Small Business Alliance, for the invitation. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to try to, I don't want that microphone to go off, so here we go. My name is Keith Tall, and I'm running for Hardin County Judge Executive. Just a quick little history quiz. Who won the election back in May? Yes, that is correct. I am pro-life. I am pro-Second Amendment. I am pro-responsible spending. I am pro-jobs and pro-extensive training. I am pro-Hardin County. I'm pro-Vine Grove. I am pro-teamwork and pro-freedom. Yes. I grew up in Hardin County. I went to Howe Valley School for 8 years and then on to West Hardin and graduated there. I've raised my family in E-Town and Cecilia and now live on our family farm in Cecilia and been there for the last 26 years. I'm married, Megan, and been married for 39 years now. She's put up with a lot. And we have 4 children and we have 9 grandchildren. I submit to Jesus Christ as my Lord. And I currently serve as an elder at Crossroads Baptist Church in E-Town. I grew up on a dairy farm, milk cows, tobacco, and that was located in Cecilia where I live right now. I worked in my family agribusiness at Tall Equipment. I attended ECC as it was at the time, ECTC now, and went on to the University of Kentucky obtaining bachelor's and master's degrees in engineering. I then worked for the next 30 years in the automotive industry, mostly at AGC. It was AP Technoglass initially, an automotive supplier of safety glass. I currently have a small organic hay farm of all things, and I am contracted part-time by ECTC Workforce Solutions to help companies move to a continuous improvement culture. I have literally led or trained thousands of improvement teams in all types of organizations, all types of projects, and you could say that I know just a little about solving problems. I even went so far as to organize and make the kitchen more efficient for my wife. And I am still working out through those problems that were created by doing that. So we got to watch out there a little bit. So let me ask just a few yes-no questions about the judge executive role, a position that serves all of you. Do you want a judge executive to represent the same old establishment that places good old boys in positions that aren't needed, wasting your hard-earned tax money? No. Do you want a judge executive that brings problem-solving methods and high expectations to our local government, resulting in continuous improvement and a higher quality of life for all of us? Yeah. Do you want a judge executive focused on transparency? Yeah, improved emergency medical services. And a strong partnership with Blue Oval SK. Do you want a judge executive that listens? Do you want a judge executive and magistrates to be more accessible to you by moving meetings to later in the day? It's just one example.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Next up, the Democratic write-in candidate, Charlie Wise.
Thank you all. I'm Charlie Wise, a write-in candidate for Hardin County Judge Executive. And first of all, I'd like to thank Vine Grove for putting on this event today. A lot of volunteer work went into this happening today, and a lot of volunteer work went into this facility. A great friend of mine, Mike Shewart, he had a vision years ago, and we have to keep those visions up for Hardin County to have this facility where people could come here and speak, camp, have bluegrass music, or whatever they wanted. So Max is up there somewhere looking down on us today, and I'm sure smiling with a big face. A little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Hardin County. I've always lived in Hardin County, never lived anywhere else. Traveled 15 or 16 miles to school, graduated right here at North Hardin High School when it was in Vine Grove. And I think Gary was talking about the old red brick, the white block, and the main building there a while ago. We know what they all are or were. And so Over the past years, I have owned and operated Wise Contracting, a crane rigging and rental business, earth moving, site work, and I was a founding member of Central Hardin Fire Department years ago. Spent 17 years as a volunteer. Served about 6 years on that fire department as chief. Proud of all the volunteers that's had to step up on the fire departments throughout the years, and all across Hardin County. We need to support those firefighters. They put $5 fuel in their cars to go and put out a fire or check on a fire for somebody. So we got to keep those firefighters covered, and our emergency service. They do a wonderful job. I have served 7 years on fiscal court, and I've served 16 years on the school board. I'm currently chairman of the Hardin County School Board. We've done great things. We're looking at a new site right now to add a new school for the growth that's coming from Blue Oval Escape Plant. They say there'll probably be 3,500 to 5,000 kids in here in the next 5 years. So don't say things are not going to happen in Hardin County. We're on the move right now. We sold a mower just a couple of weeks ago to a guy right here in Vine Grove that's moved here from Michigan. So growth is on its way. School board has over a $200 million budget that we have to be responsible for. Hardin County is about 5 times, I think the school board is about 5 times what the Hardin County, about $40 million in the Hardin County budget. So we've been there. I've managed a bigger budget than Hardin County's got, and I think I'll do a great job. Or with the new masters that's going to come in, there's going to be 6 new ones. So we're going to grow in that area. I'm co-owner of Wise Power Equipment, also at this time a licensed real estate broker and auctioneer in Hardin County, and owner of Wise Farms. I've got a hay and cattle operation. I'm not running against my opponent because I don't like him. He comes from a great family. I bought 4 new tractors from him, 3 major pieces of other earth moving equipment. So they're great people. I'm running because I feel I have more to offer. I think this is a critical time with the new Ford plant coming in. We need to have a vision, look forward. I've got 30 seconds, not cents, but we need to have orderly growth, safer roads, extended sewer lines, improved emergency service, user-friendly government, and I can say that I can do that for all the citizens of Hardin County. I'll work hard for you all. I appreciate your time. I'm a write-in candidate. You have to write my name on the ballot, but there'll be a place on that ballot for it. So all you have to do is write Charlie Wise. Thank you.
I want to thank some of our hometown heroes today, and me being a former police chief here in Vine Grove, I want to thank our police chief that is here today, Kenny Mattingly, right over there next to the sound booth. He and his police officers made sure everybody was safe today at our parade, Autumn Days Parade, so thank you, Chief, for your service. Next up, our Hardin County Clerk, and first to speak is Debbie Donnelly, the Democratic candidate.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say it's a great day to be in Northern Hardin County, and especially Vine Grove. Thank you all for what you do, and your outpouring is, you welcome us into your heart of Vine Grove, and we appreciate that so much. And I have to say that Pam and all the city council over here are outstanding. So thank you all. Thank you. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, but for the ones that do not know me, I am Debbie Donnelly, your Hardin County Clerk. I am the first elected woman for the Hardin County Clerk, the first elected woman. And it was established in November of 1792, and then we opened for business in February the 20th, 1793. So to be the first woman as the Hardin County Clerk, I think us women are accomplishing things, and we need to continue on. Not saying anything against guys, but women are getting out there, and that's what we need to do. I truly love my job, and anybody that knows me, I truly love it. And I truly love working for you all. And I want to continue to be your Hardin County clerk. Now, the last couple of years, as we all went through this pandemic, it was not good. But let me tell you, the Hardin County Clerk's Office, we did not close our doors. We did not close our doors. We stayed open. We had to adjust some, as you all know, we had to adjust some, but when businesses were closing, we stayed open. And I give the credit to employees. I have great employees that came in, did the job, and they continued going. So I have nothing but praise for them. Change implemented by the legislators, that, by the pandemic, that made us go into voting centers. Now, as you all know, in 2020, we had 4 voting centers. We had the largest turnout that we have had. And of course, that was for the presidential race. But again, we had the largest turnout. And it worked wonderful. The 4 voting centers worked wonderful. Well, what we did in this year for the May primary, we had 7 voting centers. And yes, again, it worked excellent because we had them in the east, the west, the north, the south, centrally located, and we had one in Meeting Creek and West Point. Well, I talked to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State said, Debbie, do you want to open more? He said, think about it overnight and give me a call the next day and let me know. Well, I thought about it. So this will be approved Tuesday, and I asked Secretary Adams if I could announce this. We will have one here in Vine Grove at J.T. Alton School. We will have one in East Hardin Middle School. We will have one at John Hardin High School. So the J.T. Alton will pull in the people. You are welcome. You are so welcome.
Thank you.
Oh,
Your time's up.
Oh, okay.
Time's up.
Sorry. Thank you all, and I appreciate your all's vote November. Well, all the 4 different ways you have to vote.
Thank you. Thank you. And so that you all know, and our folks watching at home, we are going to have somebody from the clerk's office that is going to explain this year's voting locations, the ballot, and several things going on with this year's election. And one of the other things that we're going to have is we're going to interview both of the judge executive candidates, and they will be on, and that is going to run the whole month of October. Next up, Brian Smith, the Republican candidate for Hardin County Clerk.
Thank you, Hardin County. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all sitting in the sun to listen to each of these candidates. They all have important things to say, and I'm glad that you all are here. But before I say anything else, I need to address an important issue. Today, September 17th, is my 11th wedding anniversary. I told my wife she could do anything she wanted for our anniversary as long as she wanted to campaign. So if you are not married yet, marry somebody willing to do that for you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but before I do that, I want to thank the RSBA. I'm not only a member of the Radcliff Small Business Alliance, but I was at the very first monthly meeting, and I have rarely missed a meeting since. Thanks to the RSBA, there are more open businesses, there are more successful businesses here in the northern part of Hardin County than there were before you all started. God bless you, and thank you for that hard labor. I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. I graduated from Western Kentucky University, and I came to Hardin County to work for our prior member of Congress. I learned a lot working for him. I spent then, after working for Ron, I worked for Governor Ernie Fletcher. I ran his statewide organization. I've worked large budgets and I've managed large staff. I can handle the work of the clerk's office. I want to tell you a couple of things that I do in my job currently. I'm Director of Economic Development for our Congressman Brett Guthrie. Director of Economic Development only means one thing. I answer the phone and I solve complicated problems every single day. I can handle the big problems. Let me tell you, I need to correct the record because there were some few things that were just said from this podium that are not quite true. First of all, Debbie's original plan for Hardin County in November as submitted had only 7 polling locations. That's 1 for every 13,000 registered voters in Hardin County. I've been saying for over a year it's not right, it's not enough, and it's not fair. We need polling locations that are both fair and accessible. It was me, when I heard that plan was going, I reached out to my contacts in Frankfort. I rallied the local leaders here. I reached out to our Vine Grove mayor. I reached out to Selena Hudson and others. And I said, we will fight this and we will push for polling places here in Vine Grove and in other parts of the county. Now, we won a partial victory. The State Board of Elections tabled that until Debbie conceded and added 3 additional spots. They weren't willing to fight further. We need more polling locations. Our rural parts of this county are underrepresented. And I got to tell you, this community understands the importance of shopping local. You guys have a thriving downtown. That's the result of shopping local. We've got this amazing all-inclusive playground. That's the result of giving local. Voting local matters too. Our polling places matter. One thing that wasn't addressed was the closure of the Radcliff office that served all of northern Hardin County. That did not save us any money. The staff were transferred to the Elizabethtown office and the city offered the space for free. Now, supporters of my opponent have said online that I don't have the ability to secure ADA compliant facilities in Radcliff. Let me tell you, I've done it 7 times for my current boss. I've negotiated space under 3 different administrations and 2 different political parties. I know how to work together to get things done. Local voting matters. Let's time to elect somebody with the energy, the excitement, and the enthusiasm to serve all of Hardin County. God bless you all.
Thank you, Brian. Man, these tall people must be related to Clarence that the judge was talking about earlier. Readjust this microphone a little bit. Next up, our Hardin County jailer. First up is Josh Lindblom, the Democratic candidate. Come on up, Josh.
What do you say, guys? My name is Josh Lindblom. Everybody calls me Big Josh. I am your Hardin County jailer. You know, 4 years and 4 days ago was the first Radcliff Small Business Alliance forum that I attended. And you know, after that, we got elected, and I tell you this, I appreciate every one of y'all for voting. We had a great time, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I want to say that 4 years and 4 days ago, we called out John Flanagan, who's no longer with us. And I said, because he had a post about trash on the side of the road. Well, since then, it's been a personal vendetta of the jail to make sure we clean up the roads. I told him a long time ago we keep the roads clean, and that's what we've done. Clean up more trash on the side of the roads than ever before. This park right here was cleaned up yesterday by inmates from the Hardin County Work Crews. The parade route was cleaned up by inmates from the work crews. But also, Monday, it'll be cleaned up again by inmates from the work crews. Guys, in the last couple of years, we've accomplished a lot of stuff. We've accomplished the fact that I've been elected 3 times by 118 jailers across the state to the Kentucky Jailers Association Board of Directors, which Lewis Lawson started 40 years ago. I hold the endorsement right now of 2 former jailers. I hold the endorsement of 2 former sheriffs, a few judge executives. It's been a great time, guys. Fiscal responsibility. In this day and age, to save money, it is a hard thing to do. But even these conservative talk shows that we've been on, we have definitely made our name because they call us a legend. Call me a local legend for saving money. There's a reason that Judge Barry and I get along, because I'm as fiscally conservative as he was. And there's a reason that Hardin County is the lowest tax county in the state, because we're all working together hard to do it. So I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate all y'all being here. Guys, in the last couple of years, we've made it through a pandemic. We've led the jail through a pandemic with 0 hospitalizations and 0 deaths from COVID and 0 forced vaccinations. We've done it. We've kept everybody safe. In the last couple of years, we have graduated more people every year with a high school diploma from the jail, making us the 5th largest public high school in the county. Think about that. People have opportunity. In the last 4 years, we have saved almost $2.7 million off our budget. $2.7 million. Think about that. And that's one of the reasons keeping the taxes low in Hardin County. Guys, we work hard for you every day. I've been in public service here in this county for 20 years as a deputy jailer, a deputy with the Hardin County Sheriff's Office, and now you're current serving jailer. It's been a great ride. I really enjoy myself, enjoy everything I do, and I appreciate y'all being here. I'd appreciate your vote in November, and I just want you to stand with me. I hope that what I have done in my office radiates through, and you'll continue to have me another 4 years. I appreciate y'all, and God bless y'all. Thank you.
Next up for Hardin County Jailer, the Republican candidate, Rob Reynolds.
Hello, Hardin County. How are we? Good to see everybody today. I'm Rob Reynolds. I'm your Republican candidate for Hardin County Jailer. I'm not originally a native of Hardin County. 2 things brought me here: the United States Army and Travis Ford. I'll tell you a little story that made me a UK basketball fan. Travis Ford played at University of Missouri in 1989, and when Norm Stewart retired, Travis decided he didn't want to play there anymore, and so he transferred to Kentucky. So I decided that I'm going to have to come to Kentucky to follow Travis. So here I am. Folks, I currently work as a Protective Services Officer for the Department of Homeland Security. I'm assigned to the FBI Security Detail to headquarters there in Louisville, Kentucky. The last 3.5 years, I've had the opportunity to work with a number of federal agencies throughout our Commonwealth, providing both physical and personnel security services. Prior to that, I spent 19.5 years as a peace officer at the jail, serving through a number of positions throughout the jail. I worked for previous jailer Lewis Larsen and Danny Allen. While I was at the jail, I had the opportunity to participate in a number of special projects and programs that specifically targeted our recidivism rates and improved the security of our facility and the safety of our community. Folks, I'm the only candidate on the ballot for jailer that has more than 30 years experience serving this community and our country in uniform. I'm a United States Army veteran. I served almost 10 years, both here domestically and abroad. As your jailer, I commit to you today that I will bring professional accreditation to our department. Folks, Kentucky is the only state left in the country that operates county jails independent of the Sheriff's Department. So you can imagine that brings a lot of problems to jails with no certified standard. If I bring that standard to our community, that'll be something that has never happened before, and it will open up a level of federal funding that will allow us to fund initiatives inside the jail. It will also give us a certified standard by which our staff are trained by. The current administration, one of the first things they did when they came in is they abolished our training program. We were the only jail in the state of Kentucky that was certified to do our own training inside the jail. Myself, along with former training director Jeff Grigsby and our former jailer, Danny Allen, we made sure the staff received more than 256 hours of training and a 10-week evaluation by a trained field training officer before they were ever allowed to work with the inmates. Folks, that's currently not happening, and it's made a dangerous environment for our staff and for the people that have to be there. I will also bring a level of programming to our inmates and to our facility to facilitate when they come back to our community. It's what's known as reentry initiatives. It has shown great success in Kentucky. It started in 2018. Simpson County and Boyle County are the 2 most prolific in the state right now that have shown great success with more than a 20% reduction in their housing numbers. Hardin County is poised right now to do some great things with our jail. With all of the economic development that's going on, we're going to have to make some changes at our jail. If we don't, folks, we're going to be in some serious trouble. On November the 8th, I ask humbly for your vote and that you elect the only candidate that has a proven track record of success of operating our jail, saving real money, and making sure that people that are incarcerated and in jail stay there. I'm Rob Reynolds. I'm your Republican candidate for jailer. I'm number 1 on the ballot, and I'll leave the light on for you. Thank you.
Next up, magistrate candidates for District 2. Our first speaker today is Kenny Salzman, the Democratic candidate.
Hello, thank you all for being out here and braving this hot sunshine out here today. I want to thank the Radcliff Small Business Alliance and our gracious host, the City of Vine Grove. My name is Kenny Salzman. I am a lifelong resident of Hardin County. Been married to my wife Shannon for 21 years. We have 2 boys who attend North Hardin High School. And they are gone this weekend to Alabama with the cross-country team. We faithfully attend First Christian Church in Elizabethtown, where I'm an elder. Our entire family volunteers every Sunday working with our children. I am a second-generation business owner of Willie's Upholstery in Radcliff, which was founded by my father, Willie, in 1980. I also officiate high school volleyball, where this past season I was nominated and runner-up for the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Volleyball Official of the Year. Throughout this campaign, I've heard only 2 issues facing Hardin County: library services for Radcliff and the county clerk's office for Radcliff. Those are 2 very important issues, but District 2 and Hardin County have facing many more critical issues than just those 2. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what we have to do to save our library services in Radcliff. First, we have to start a petition, get enough votes to pass that petition, to get it put on the ballot, pass that ballot, dissolve our library board, and put it back in the hands of fiscal court. Once it's back in the hands of fiscal court, I will restore those services. I will work to serve and work to restore those services back to the north end of Hardin County. The clerk's extension office in Radcliff will be the decision of our next county clerk that you elect. You just heard from them. Mark my words, I will endeavor to use my influence as magistrate to restore this service also. We also have a giant task at hand for Hardin County. With the Blue Oval project underway, Nucor in Meade County, our community is about to have an identity change. With growth comes many challenges that will take careful and thoughtful planning, and Hardin County has a comprehensive plan that gives us a blueprint and for that growth. Now, that plan is in update status, and I plan to be as involved as that as much as possible and enjoy giving your thoughts on that plan being processed right now. But most importantly, I want to listen to the others and consider their points of view that not only District 2 will benefit, but also the entire county. District 2 has Mill Pond right on the edge of it. The county and the city of Radcliff have to make this area attractive to capitalize on the growth from these companies that are here locally. We have the Elizabethtown Industrial Park that's nearly full. It's prime opportunity for Mill Pond to grow. We're going to have to focus on improving our infrastructure, such as roads, sewer, and public safety. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only going to make you one promise, and that is I will represent you, my constituents, in an honest and thoughtful manner that is within the powers invested in the office of magistrate. It serves me no benefit to tell you that I will do something just to make you feel good or try to convince you to vote for me. Honesty and my full attention to the task of magistrate is what I believe you want, and that is what you will get from Kenny Salzman. So ladies and gentlemen, do not sell yourself short. I humbly ask for your vote November the 8th. Thank you.
Next up, candidate for Magistrate District 2, T.W. Short, the Republican candidate. T.W.?
Thanks, Bryce. What do you guys think about a guy named Barry Saylor and a guy named Stan Mullins who brought out a group of political maniacs to sit out here for 2 hours in a hot sun with no water and food? What do you think of those guys? Thank you. Folks, I'm T.W. Short. I was a soldier for 20 years. I've been a businessman in Radcliff for 35 years, former member of Radcliff City Council. I am one of the founders, along with Mayor Ogden and others that are here today, one of the founders of the Radcliff Small Business Alliance. And we have a storm going back there. We're about to lose something here. Anyhow, my purpose in running for this office is to be a strong voice for the 2nd District of Hardin County, which is the south end of Radcliff. My opponent just made an interesting statement. We had a forum a couple of days ago where the restoration of library services to the north end was impossible. All of a sudden, in the last couple of days, it became possible. Sounds like he's on the same team I am when it comes to restoring library services to Radcliff. We know it's possible, it's intricate, it's not easy, but we've done hard things before. We fully intend to do that. The other thing I intend to do as a voice on fiscal court is to support the candidate right now who's running for office that agrees to restore county clerk services to the north end. And I encourage everyone here to do the same thing. Otherwise, you won't have the county clerk office restored. The other candidate has made no commitment like that. I noticed my opponent just said he will support the one that's going to do that. It's only one, and it's only Brian Smith. So I encourage you to vote for Brian. I'll leave it with this. I don't want to see the red flag from Lisa. My name is T.W. Short. I'm a candidate for District 2, which is the south end of Radcliff, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Next up, our candidates for Magistrate District 8, which covers the Vine Grove area. First up is Stan Holmes, the Democratic candidate. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are we here today? Are you here? Yeah. All right. My name is Stan Holmes, and I'm running for magistrate in the 8th District here in Hardin County. Why am I here? Because experience matters. Because the decisions on the north end matters. Because we matter as the people of Hardin County. I'm here because I believe that I need to be a voice. I need to be the vision that we have for the future, and I know how to make decisions when it comes to Hardin County. I served on the Radcliff City Council for 14 years, and during that process, I was able to be the mayor pro temp for 4 of those years. It allowed me to also learn more about the budgets and the understanding of what needs to be done in our county and our city as well. I served through the process of while we were doing BRAC and while that particular process was going on. So experience I have. I'm a veteran, a retired veteran in this area with a family. My wife, we've been married for 34 years. We have 6 children. I don't want to give us any added children than we need. We have 6 children. We have 10 grandchildren. We're honored to say that we are truly a family. I love my family and I love Hardin County. I have not always lived here. I came this way by way of the military, but I can tell you one thing for sure, that I have no problems with the great prosperity that's going on down in Elizabethtown and all those areas down on the south end. But I believe also that some of that progress needs to be shown on the north end of town as well. So I'm for that. I'm interested making sure that we talk to people and talk together and work together as a whole. Hardin County needs us. Hardin County needs to make sure that we have the voice that speaks for them on all ends. And when I get in office to serve you as your magistrate in the 8th District, I want to make sure that we work together, not departed, but together, ladies and gentlemen, because being a part of this county means unity, and that's a whole. So what do we need to focus on? We need to continue to focus on transparency in this community. We need to continue to focus on, again, the north end of Hardin County as well, because there is so much that needs to happen on the north end as well. I love it. I love to see the great things that are happening. I like the forward plan that's coming in, but ladies and gentlemen, north end needs to see some of those great things as well. I appreciate your time. Again, I am Stan Holmes. I'm number 2 on the ballot. I look forward to your support on November the 8th. Thank you for your time. God bless. Next up is Kenny Muse, the Republican candidate for Magistrate of District 8.
Welcome everyone to Vine Grove, Autumn Days, and Brushy Fork. For those who don't know me, my name's Kenny Muse. I'm running for Magistrate of District 8. A little bit about me, I've been married 29 years to my wife, Roselle. We have 3 children, one girl and 2 boys. The two oldest are now attending Western Kentucky University, and my youngest boy is an 8th grader at St. James Catholic School. I attended Ronnieville Elementary, and I graduated from North Hardin High School in 1973. I then went to Western Kentucky University and got a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering Technology. I then went to the University of Kentucky and got a Master's degree in Civil Engineering. I'm a licensed professional engineer. I'm a licensed registered land surveyor. And after I attended University of Kentucky, I went to work for the Kentucky State Highway Department for approximately a year. I then went to Fort Knox and started working as a civil engineer. I just recently retired after 42 years, and I will have enough time to devote to being your next magistrate. The last 15 years, when I was working at Fort Knox, I was chief of the Operation and Maintenance Division. As chief of the Operation and Maintenance Division, I was responsible for all maintenance and repair at Fort Knox, except family housing and the school system. I was also in charge of the utility systems, water, wastewater, stormwater, and the natural gas system. To do that work, I managed 4 contracts. They totaled approximately $66.5 million per year. I helped write the scope of work for each one of them contracts. I was on the source selection, and after they was awarded, I worked on the administration, the inspection, and the maintenance of them contracts. Due to my work experience, my education, and I'm a lifelong resident of the Hardin County area, I truly believe I'm the best candidate to be your magistrate here in District 8. If elected, you will get someone that's hardworking. I was raised on a farm. We raised tobacco, cattle, and I still farm today. You'll get someone that's honest. If you ask me a question about something, I'll let you know the way that I know it. I'll come be straightforward with you. And I'm committed. I'm committed to spend the time to do what's ever required of this position. I'm committed to make Hardin County the best county in this state to work and live in. I'm also committed to be the best magistrate this county's ever had. So come November the 8th, I hope y'all come out and vote for me. I'm Kenny Muse. I'll be on the Republican candidate. Thank y'all.
Next up, our Kentucky State Representative from District 10, and Josh Calloway, the Republican candidate, is here with us today.
Good afternoon, Hardin County. Good to see you today. Appreciate everybody for coming out, being a part of this. First of all, I'd like to start by thanking the people of the 10th District for giving me the opportunity to be your representative for the last 2 years. The greatest honor of my life was when I met the Lord Jesus Christ. The second one was when I met Angela Calloway from Cleveland, Ohio. And the third one was getting elected to the House of Representatives to represent you. And I appreciate that privilege and that honor. The second thing I'd like to do, just real quick, if you have served in our military, would you stand and raise your hand? If you've served in our military, let's give them a hand. We can do this today because of people like this that have served in the past and are serving now, that gives us the freedom to do what we are doing here today. Let me say, second of all, it's also been a great opportunity to serve on the right side of being right. It's been a great opportunity. It's been great to be on the right side of history and the right side of issues. That's why when it comes to the issue of life, that I stand for both the born and the unborn and do everything within my power to fight for those that do not have a voice. And that is also why this November, you, the citizens, will have the opportunity to go to the polls and to vote for Amendment 2 and cast your vote, yes, in behalf of the life of the unborn. And that is a great opportunity. But we don't just stand for the life of the unborn. We also have the responsibility to protect and to preserve and also to prepare the next generation that is coming behind us. It is so important that we teach the generation coming behind us the foundational principles that made this nation what it has been. And I am fully supportive in every way of making sure that not just us, because I represent you, but I represent a future generation that is coming behind us that needs a nation that has liberty and freedom and opportunity, and that is our responsibility. So when we elect somebody to serve, we elect one of us to act as our voice, and that has been my goal. That is what I've tried to do in the last 2 years. We also stand for liberty. Over the last 3 years, we have seen our God-given liberties under attack like never before in our nation's history. That is why that we have fought to balance a voice and have power balanced across the board in our state government so that your voice is represented and your voice is recognized, not just one individual that stands up and says, you can't go to church. We said, no, you can go to church. That right was given by God, not by government. It was not by one individual, but God gave us that right. And so we have fought for those particular things. We passed this past session, church is essential legislation. I think that's important for our communities because we work together, we worship together, we serve together, and church is very essential just like everything else. Whether it's religious liberty or personal liberty, whether it involves the right to keep and to bear arms, all of those things are foundational and we must protect them and we must advance them. That is what I've tried to do. That is what I will continue to do. To be honest, every day that I serve, I'm working in your behalf, but in the behalf of our children coming behind us. So thank you for that opportunity. I'll be on the ballot again this year. Josh Calloway for state representative. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this great state. And God continue to bless the United States of America.
Next up, Kentucky State Representatives from District 25, and first speaking today is Steve Bratcher, the Republican candidate.
Hardin County will be the fastest growing county in the state. I'm Steve Bratcher. I'm a Republican nominee for the 25th State District House. So I've lived 20 years in Hardin County. I was born in Kentucky, raised in Kentucky, educated in Kentucky, and I've got own a business in Kentucky. I've been employed in Kentucky, and some people say I speak Kentuckian. So I have, since that time, I graduated from Eastern Kentucky University with an undergrad in police administration, got a master's degree from Eastern there, and then went on and got an MBA from Bellarmine University, and I also have a few associate technical degrees. So I've committed to serving the community, and I've done that my entire life. I've been a member of the, I'm on the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity. So I help serve by helping people achieve homes and live the American dream by owning their own home. So I presently work at Elizabethtown Community College in economic development. I was just working last week on a project that with Blue Oval that helps prepare and train their employees for when the place opens. So we help new companies, existing companies in town and in the community become better at moving to technology and helping train people when we do move to that technology. So I'm already helping these new companies as they come to town. So I'm a strong supporter of business. I'm a strong supporter of small business and creating opportunity for small business to thrive. I do support the bill that was passed by the House and Legislature. It was to reduce the payroll tax by 0.5% every year over the next 5 years to eliminate the payroll tax. So right now you have a 5% payroll tax. You should have seen a decrease in that. And so I fully support that and think that should continue on till putting more money in people's pockets is better than using it elsewhere. So I'm presently an elected constable as well, and I have served that role for 2 or 3 terms now, and I am in the Air Force National Guard. So I was in active duty Air Force for about 4 years, where I was deployed with September 11th, did some Homeland Defense as well. Our National Guard unit I enjoy being the National Guard. People sometimes look at me like, you're still in the National Guard? Believe it or not, yeah, I still am. And I enjoy being in that because we serve so many different opportunities, not just foreign land, but in Kentucky as well. For example, our unit was one of the units that was responded to the floods and had 19 saves and rescued 19 people during the floods down in Hazard. some part of the people in our unit were also with the riots. We responded to tornadoes. We responded to ice storms. So we stand ready as the National Guard in Kentucky, and I enjoy doing that stuff. I enjoy being a part of that unit and supporting Kentucky by doing these extra things. So I'm also a broker here in Elizabethtown, in Hardin County. Actually the state of Kentucky. So I have a real estate practice as well. And my wife and I, she's here today. Thank you, Cindy, for supporting me and running. If you don't know this already, when you run for an office, your whole family runs, your friends run, everybody runs that's around you, that's associated with you. So I appreciate everybody's support. But we opened serving the greatest generation, actually, a personal care facility. So where we support others in their life after they've been toward the end of life. So I'm a graduate Leadership Kentucky, and I just recently found out yesterday I was endorsed by the Kentucky Chamber. So I appreciate you all's time. I appreciate you all having this forum, and I appreciate you all considering me when you go to vote on November the 8th. Thank you.
Next up for the 25th District is Catherine Leonard, the Democrat candidate.
Hello, my name is Catherine Leonard. If that name sounds familiar to you, yes, I am indeed one of those Leonards. I actually grew up here in Vine Grove. My family lived off of Central Avenue for a couple of years before we moved to where my parents live still to this day, off of Deckard School Road. I'm one of 8 kids. Hardin County is my home. Went to public school here, went to Elizabethtown Community College here, moved away for a couple of years, lived and worked in northern Kentucky. And then when it came time to make my job remote, I moved back to Hardin County because Hardin County is home. Hardin County is going through a lot of changes. Change can be scary, I understand that, but also change can be an opportunity. I believe in education. Continuous self-education is the way that you avoid that fear, is the way that you overcome those obstacles, whether that be through public education or through, as an adult, just continuously learning new things, listening to people, and finding out what their issues are. I'm running on a campaign of empathy and honesty. I believe it is my duty to listen to people, find out what their needs are, and see if there's anything government can do to help them accomplish those goals that they have for themselves, their small business, or their communities. Did not have a prepared speech today, so I'm winging it here. One of the things that I enjoy most is talking to people and finding out what those needs are. Government works best when it is working for the common good. Kentucky is a commonwealth, and that means using the commonwealth to do things for the common good. Some of those things include increasing our infrastructure, improving our infrastructure, building new schools, making sure that we employ enough teachers for those schools, making sure that we provide the best education we can for those schools. That means also investing in new technologies for providing clean energy. It means investing in roads that bring the jobs, that employ everyone, that create the tax base that allows us to do those things that we want to do. I believe in Hardin County. It is my home. It is worth fighting for, and I hope you'll join me on November 8th, sorry. October 11th is the last day to make sure that you register to vote. November 8th is the election, and I hope that you'll join me in voting for me, Catherine Leonard, as your next state representative for District 25.
Next up are those folks that are seeking Radcliff City Council. And our first candidate that is going to speak this afternoon is Maria Bell.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Guess who? Again? Maria. Hi, everybody. I'm Chef Maria Bell. Wrong. I'm Chef Maria Bell, but everybody calls me now Maria because the Secretary of State did not approve the chef because it's not a nickname. So I'm going to go change that and make it a nickname soon at the court. So I will be officially Chef Maria. Not that I didn't spend 22 years cooking for you people. I have to go and change my name legally, right? So I came from a mother who was a giver and a father who was unstoppable businessman. So I inherited those two traits, and now I am an unstoppable business owner, and I am a giver. And I enjoy it so much because one brings the other. Small businesses are suffering nowadays, and since I've been a business owner for almost all my life, I am a member, I'm a director actually for Radcliff Small Business Alliance, and thank you, RADSBA, for doing this today. And I do the grand openings and also the ribbon cuttings for small businesses in Radcliff and Hardin County. I enjoy it so much, but then I don't enjoy the fact that in a year or two that business closes. So this is why I'm running. I am running to form a committee together with people from Hardin County and the mayor and the rest of the council women and men, so we can update, after the grand opening, who can update the business information, and we visit the business and ask them, are you okay? You need anything? What can we do? And if we can do it, we find people to do it. The next thing is the compassionate side and the giver. I have a nonprofit that I feed people. If you go to my car right now, it has the signs on the side. It says Maria Bell. Pop the trunk, my trunk is full of food. I just threw some diapers out there instead of candy because I don't believe in candy. So I just look for some and I throw some diapers. So I have a nonprofit that we started a Christmas dinner. This is the third year we do the Christmas dinner, Christmas Day. And people of Hardin County bring me all this food, so my shelves are full, so I started shoving it in my trunk, and I stop at the blessing boxes and I fill them up. So we have the third Christmas dinner coming up, December 25th, Christmas Day. We fed the first time 395 people, the second time 595, and this year we're aiming for 1,000 people. So I am running for city council so I can feed the people and I can help small businesses. And guess what else? I'm a Kentucky Colonel. I am a director for RSBA. I'm a Rotarian. And what do we believe? Help others. That's where we feel the total of us. If we don't help others and just go to the supermarket and feed ourselves, that's not enough. In this world, there are other people that they need help.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Bye!
Next up for Radcliff City Council is Pam DeRoche.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to the Radcliff Small Business Alliance for hosting this event today. I'm back here tiptoeing so I can reach the microphone. I'm a little on the short side, so anyway, thank you all for being here today. I am running for Radcliff City Council. Thank you. You're going to adjust it for me? All right. I'm running for Radcliff City Council. I'm finishing my second term on City Council. I think I'm all things Radcliff. I mean, I love Radcliff. My t-shirt today says I love Radcliff. I've been in the banking industry for 42 years. Most of that, with the exception of about 3 years, I worked in E-Town. And they used to make fun of me all the time because I was always making trips to Radcliff to do something. So I've been on the Radcliff Small Business Alliance. I've been the past president of the Radcliff Small Business Alliance, past president of the Radcliff Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the Rotary Club. I've helped chair the Radcliff Cultural Festival. I am a worker, and I believe I'm working hard to get things done. I was kind of looking through some things before I came out here today, and I know a lot of us realize that Radcliff was established in 1956. I looked at the population of Radcliff at that time, and it was 800, a population of 800. We are still a new city, working hard to grow. So a lot of people look at the ebb and flow that we've had in our community, and a lot of that has been as a result of the ebb and flow of Fort Knox. We have to get up every day and work hard, and I believe the Radcliff Small Business Alliance has contributed to that. You can see that through the work that they've done in trying to lift up small business. So we're trying to grow our community every day. It's more than just the small business, though. It's about all of us, our schools, our kids, our, just everything Radcliff. We need to support and be proud of who we are. We, like I said, we're a new city. Really, when you look at in the overall perspective of things, Vine Grove's been around a long time. E-Town's been around even longer. We try to compare ourselves to those cities, and we can't do that. We have to be the best we are and be proud of who we are, get up every day, work hard, and that takes all of us to make our city a better place. I can assure you, while things don't always look like they're moving forward, we're always working in the background trying to bring in new business, trying to promote the growth of Radcliff. And I want to be a part of that. So please, I'm number 10 on the ballot. I would appreciate your vote, and I'm here to work hard for our community each and every day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam. Next up is Lauren Hales for Radcliff City Council.
Hello, everyone. I won't keep you long today. I'm a lifelong resident of Radcliff. My name is Lauren Hales. My family has been here for over 100 years. I know that's pretty amazing. That's longer than Radcliff has been around. My husband and I, we have 2 amazing kids. We have chosen to keep our family here, to raise them around my own family. Let me read my notes, I apologize. So for the first 10 years of my eldest life, I was a stay-at-home mom because I felt that it was important to be at home with my children. And when my husband decided to work from home at the start of the pandemic, I went back to school. I started my degree in political science, and now once I'm finished with that in the spring, I will be going on to get my degree, master's, in public administration. And, oh my goodness, I apologize. So I suddenly found myself with a lot of spare time. I'm not gonna read that, I'm just gonna step back. I suddenly found myself with a lot of spare time, and I decided to get involved in the community. I joined the Radcliff Women's Club, where I am now the secretary. I started the Radcliff Literacy Project because we lost our library. I know that's a big hit with everyone. I've given away 4,000 children's books in the last year alone. I'm very proud of that. I have invited children to attend different workshops. I apologize, I'm so nervous. Different workshops in our community through Intel, where they received free laptops so they could continue to further their education. And along with investing in our children, I have decided that I believe we should invest in the IT community around here. We have high-speed internet at this point, and we can't do any manufacturing here because we're not equipped for that in Radcliff. We're ready to bring in IT and make that big. I apologize, I'm so nervous. I wanted to say I'm an effective leader today. I'm nervous. I am eloquent on paper. I'm not ready to stand up in front of people. I apologize for that. But I ask for your confidence in me. I know it's there. I need a little work on it. And I'm humble about that. I know I need a little work on it. I'm humble about it. But I'm ready to help lead this community. I am ready to invest in bringing our community into the future. I am ready to give our children something better to look forward to than what I had when I was here as a kid. And I know that this speech was not not a great impression for that. But I ask for your confidence, and I greatly appreciate that you took the time to listen to me today. Have a great day.
Next up for Radcliff City Council, Michelle Harmon.
Hi everyone, as you heard, I'm Michelle Harmon, number 2 on the ballot. Some of you out here may not know who I am, and some of you do, so I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm very invested in Radcliff. I'm a homeowner. I've owned businesses in our community. I am also a proud military mom. Number 2 on the ballot. I have served as a director on many community boards. I also serve as a volunteer in our community on outreaches. Now, I didn't start serving a month ago. I've been doing this for 25 years. That is who I am. I came to serve and not to be served, and that is exactly who I am. And I am also a mom of 6, and my sixth youngest child, will graduate this spring and joining his other siblings as a North Harding graduate. Our military roots do run very deep. My father, he served in the military, he retired, and he was buried right up here at the Kentucky Veterans Cemetery in Radcliff. Now, if I was you sitting out here, this information is good. But me, I would personally want to know, well, what are you going to do for me and my city? So that is what I want to talk about today. When I'm elected number 2 on the ballot, my goal is to keep the taxes low for our city and to be able to oversee the budget with integrity. I have done this in my own business, Family Fun Ice Cream Parlor, for the last 6 years. I started this business with only $800 and have grown this business to have something for Radcliff to have pride in. Also, I have volunteered to write grants for nonprofits and for small businesses, and this funding has totaled over $250,000. You have to be a good person of integrity, and you have to be able to show accountability when you're working with the city and the state and local and federal funding. So I have shown that I'm a person of integrity. When I'm elected number 2 on the ballot, I feel that transparency is going to be the key to unite our community. I feel that we really need to have our quarterly town hall meetings so everyone's voice can be heard. I also would like to have some type of resource available for our businesses, for our citizens, for our community, where we can all tap into one area and be able to access all the information that's going on in and around our community. And the next thing I would like to say, when I'm elected number 2 on the ballot, that I would like to inspire and encourage and improve the beautification of Radcliff. I feel that the way we're going to be able to do this is by removing some of the buildings or improving some of the buildings we have, improving our roads. I would like to see us add more to our parks, and just like the Great Cultural Fest that we recently did, we need to have more events for our families. The city of Radcliff is a business, and it's always going to need to have successful business leaders running the city. And if you want someone that will take their business and leadership skills and combine that with passion for Radcliff, then you will vote for me, Michelle Harmon, number 2 on the ballot. Thank you. I would love your vote on November 8th.
And Michelle, I know that Judge Shoemate always appreciated when you had teen court kids come over and have an outing at the ice cream, and she does have good ice cream, I'll tell you that right now. All right, next up is Audra Lett Jackson, also running for Radcliff City Council.
Good afternoon. Everyone has talked about the veterans standing up, and I know I'm very proud of my veteran, but I would ask that if all veteran spouses could stand, because I love being a spouse. Do we have any veteran spouses or children of veterans that are left with us at this time? Well, we did have some earlier. So therefore, I always say that behind a good man, there is a good woman. I have been married to my husband for 45 years this past June. and I have been a spouse of a veteran that entire 45 years. He retired from the military in 1996. I came to Radcliff September Labor Day 45 years ago, went to Germany for 3 years and returned back. I consider Radcliff as home for me. I left home at the age of 19 when I married, so therefore I decided to run for Radcliff City Council. I do serve as a city council member now, and I do a lot of things as far as volunteering in the community. Teen Court is one of mine that I've been doing for 18 years. I appreciate the teenagers and the effort that they have, that they put forth for our community. Our senior citizens are very important for me. I have always said that I wanted to be a voice for the people. That's what I continue to do, to be a voice when they can't speak for themselves, to sit there. I am proud to be a team of Radcliff City Council. We have not raised taxes. We have been a team. We have worked together. We might have had some things that we maybe have not totally seen eye to eye, but we have passed budget. We thank, and I do thank God for being a part of the city that is moving forward. We do also of being a part of the Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary. I am the commander for that auxiliary. We do a lot for our veterans in the community. That is a very important part of us. So we see ourselves with the babies, the teenagers, the children, the seniors. So we want to be a voice for all of them. We ask you to vote for me on November the 8th. I am number 5 on the ballot, and we do desire to continue to support you in Radcliff. We ask you, each of you, to have a blessed day, and we do ask you to remember us on November the 8th. Thank you all for this.
And I want to thank you all for joining us today for the Brushy Fork debate. You know, one thing that we didn't get to say today, and he wasn't able to be here today with us because of health issues, and that's Mayor Donovan Smith. This was his brainchild many years ago to start this debate, and so we want to thank Mayor Smith for starting that so many years ago, to give all you candidates an opportunity to talk about who you are and what you are, so folks can listen, not only the folks that were here in the audience, but all you folks that are watching us on Hardin County Education and Community TV. I want to thank Barry Saylor and Stan Mullins for corralling all of this and putting it together. I was just a spokesperson. I didn't have anything to do with putting all this together. They were the brains and the manpower and muscles behind everything. So Stan, Barry, thank you all so very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Mayor Ogden, we also want to thank you for having us here today as a hometown kid here from Vine Grove. I guess I like hometown kid better than good old boy, but as a hometown kid here today, I want to say thank you, because you all have made us proud for what you've done, and Chris Mayhew for running sound, and Kenny Mattingly for providing security today. Thank you so very much. And we thank you all for joining us here today for the Brushy Fork debate.